Holy cow, what a way to go out in Atlanta. Georgia Dome, off the hook. Race was great. Couple surprises, couple things that I didn't really see coming there. We'll cover all that and more on the show today.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Alright guys, so I'm here down in Florida right now, flying solo on a little family vacation, so doing the show by myself this week. So let's jump right into the 250s here. First thing with the 250s, let's start with the rookie update. Chase Sexton, gutted for this kid. Freaking super smooth amateur, looks good coming out of amateurs, gets to the pros, breaks both his wrists when he's never really had a problem with injuries, freaking gets to his first race here in Atlanta, and boom, crashes coming out of the whoops, breaks his femur. I feel absolutely awful for the kid. I'm sad we didn't get to see him actually ride. Kid kills it. Would have been awesome to see him get in there, mix it up, see if he could get a top 10. But so be it. We'll just have to wait. Hopefully it'll be ready for outdoors. It'll be close, but we'll see. Next thing, let's move right along. Let's go to Amart. So Amart had probably the worst start of the 250 East Championship other than Christian Craig. Last night, looks much better. He's making up for it. And then, bam, 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 takes out his teammate, Jordan Smith. I would love, absolutely love to have been in that TLD trailer after that race last night, because I bet he got an earful. You have a kid who is in second in points after the first round, has the potential, because the points leader, Savacci, has a horrible start, to actually probably be tied in points, if not leading the points going into round 3 in Toronto, and you take him out? Oh my god, I can't believe he did that. I like Amart and all, but I cannot believe that he ran it in that hard on Smith. That was absolutely unbelievable. I feel bad for Smith, because Smith needs to have a good season. He's been plagued with injuries, plagued with just not doing well, and now he had a good start last week with second. He was running top 3 this week, and then boom, Martin takes him out. Unbelievable. I cannot honestly believe I saw that. Okay, so let's cover some of the other big hitters here last night. Christian Craig, another awful night. Looked good in qualifying. Then the heat race comes around, and he crashes. They said it's a slight concussion. I don't know for sure. It doesn't look good for Craig. I really think that Honda screwed up by putting Craig on the East and Jeremy Martin on the West. I think they should have flip-flopped. They should have kept Craig on the West where he's used to. They should have kept Jeremy Martin on the East where he's used to. I don't care how good Martin was riding. He's not used to that West Coast dirt. It was a mistake. It was an absolute mistake. So, now they're paying the price. I mean, you've got J-Mart over there on the West Coast not doing anything. You've got Craig on the East Coast not doing anything. Luckily, Hampshire's, he was holding it together for the first round, I guess, but man, poor Geico Honda cannot catch a break. I know they won last year with Malcolm, but this year, it's been awful. It's just absolutely been a shit show. I feel bad for Geico Honda. I love Geico Honda. They're like my favorite team ever because I'm a Honda guy, but oh my god. They can't hold it together. They can't do anything right now. They need to clean house and start over with riders as far as I'm concerned. Keeping up with the top guys, let's move on to Savacci. Rough night for Savacci. I mean, he had an okay heat race. He looked all right. But then you put him into the main, and wow, horrible start. Wasn't going anywhere. Just could not do anything. He wasn't catching anyone. He wasn't passing anyone. Had C and Cirillo not gone down, AC would have got him and passed him very easily. I feel bad for AC. Bad luck last night. I mean, still gutted it out. Made an 8th place finish, which is good for him. At this point, he just needs to finish a series. Points, and finish a series is what he needs to do. And that's what he's doing right now, which is great as far as I'm concerned. But, what could have been? He could have been, I think, on the box last night. He was fast. Fernandez went down, and that kind of triggered him to go down. But I mean, what are you going to do about it? That kind of stuff happens, just a racing thing. Now, Savatgy, on the other hand, I really hope this isn't going to become his MO. He starts off real hard, kind of like he did last year in outdoors, where he was looking really good up until about halfway, and then boom, tapers off because he started really good. First round, Minneapolis looked flawless. Then last night, bad start in the main, wasn't going forward. I'll give him that the track wasn't that great, but still, I don't know, I'm nervous. I'm nervous that Savatgy's not gonna pull it together this year. One last thing to cover. Let's cover our points leader, Wacko Zacko. Kid looks on fire. On fire. Whatever Alden's doing to him down at the baker's factory is working. Kid looks the best I've ever seen him. Gets his first win last night. He's going to be leading the points going into next week. We'll see if he can keep it up. I don't know. I hope he can. I think going forward in the 250 class, again, you're going to see Savatgy, AC, Osborne, and maybe Smith. Maybe. I'll put Smith up there as a hard maybe, because I'm still not a believer in Smith until he puts together about 4 or 5 races in a row where he doesn't hit the deck of his own doing. I don't know. It's definitely interesting though. It's a pretty stacked class. I mean, you got Colt Nichols got on the box last night too, and he wasn't anywhere to be found in the first round. So who knows who else could step up? I mean, you still got Mitchell Harrison, McAdoo, who else? Fernandez. I mean, you've got all these guys. They could potentially step up, get on the box, and then that could change the points all around again. It just depends on who's going to have a good night, who's going to have an off night. But it's going to be an interesting East Coast season. I'm actually excited for it, which is good, because the West Coast was a huge snooze fest. Huge snooze fest. All right, let's move into 450 class here. Let's talk about our disappointments from last night. We're going to start good old Chad Reed. I can't really say I'm surprised to see him go down, but I was a little bit. Atlanta's kind of his track, and the way he crashed, that was insane. That just showed you how hard packed that track was, because his bike did not catch anywhere. It literally slid across that track, across that corner, like a freaking street bike. It was nuts. You know, again, I can't really say I'm, you know, sad to see it. I can't really say I'm surprised to see it, because I don't have a lot of faith in Chad Reed. He's a solid 10th to 15th place guy for the whole season, I feel like, at this point in his career. He has those moments, those flashes, like what was it, San Diego, I think it was, where he got second. But realistically, I don't see the guy doing that much. He can go after the all-time starts record at this point, but beyond that, yeah. Another big disappointment last night. Marv. Freaking Marv. Just the inconsistency is what's going to cost him this championship. He has the speed to do it. He's like a lot of guys. Seeley, Anderson, you know, all of them. He has the speed to win the championship. He doesn't have the consistency. That's what's going to kill him, you know. When you have guys like Dungeon, Tomac who are finishing 1-2 every week, you can't win getting a 5th, 6th, 8th, whatever. So those are probably the 2 biggest disappointments. But I'll tell you, what do you think of the night? I don't know how many of you caught this. When I think it was Marvin took out Bogle. Anybody catch Bogle flipping him off? Because it was awesome. He literally, his bike went this way and he stood there and just did a real solid #1 sign to him, which was absolutely hilarious to me. I was dying laughing. I was texting Justin, did you just see that? It was great. It was absolutely great. And Ralph and Jeff just kept going like nothing happened. It was perfect. All right, let's move into the top 2 steps of the podium. Let's talk about Dungeon Eli. That race is 3 laps longer. Whole different ballgame. Eli catches Dunge at that point, probably puts a move on him and gets him. If Eli gets a top 5 start, he wins. Plain and simple. Eli Tomac right now is the fastest guy on the circuit. No one can touch him. Absolutely no one can touch him. Dungy did what he needed to do. He pulled a Chad Reed move from 2 years ago. He got a whole shot, sprinted for 5 minutes, and then just, you know, reeled it in the rest of the way. Nothing crazy, didn't do anything special. He was not that fast last night comparatively to some other guys. He just did what he needed to do. Tomac's starts were awful all night. His starts were bad in the heat race, his starts were bad in the semi, and his starts were bad in the main. Plain and simple. He was trying to tuck too hard to the inside, I think, and that backfired, bit him right in the ass. He I remember I watched him specifically in the main to see what he did, and he started a gate inside of Baggett, and Baggett must have had the first or second gate pick, and he literally tried to just tuck it as hard as he could around the bales, and it didn't do anything for him. He ended up on the outside in the second corner, and it really just cost him. It's impressive to watch Eli ride at this point because he is so much faster than everyone else. Like, it got to the point last night with about 8 minutes to go, and he was rattling off, half-second lap faster times that I was like, wow, is he really going to catch him? It makes it interesting, to say the least, to watch him come from behind. I think he can take some major positives away on a track that no one was making time on anyone. Eli made time on everyone, not only passing 7 people, but making up 5-6 seconds on Dunge by the time he got around Baggett. I mean, that's pretty good for a track where literally no one is making time. I don't know. We're halfway through the season now, exactly half in the middle here. It's going to be super interesting to see how he does the rest of the year. I think we get to like Toronto and Daytona here, where those are going to be bigger tracks, and I think he's going to do really, really, really well. I don't know if Dunge is going to win again this year. I would assume he's going to win at least 1 or 2 more because he's Ryan Dungey and that's what he does. But I don't know. Tomac looks good. He looks real good, and he's got a ton of confidence right now. And he's probably upset at himself for his starts last night. So if he gets where he can rip a start here again, I mean, he's got the potential to win races by 20 or 30 seconds inside. Like, yeah. And then if he carries his confidence into outdoors, ooh, do I feel bad for everybody, because he is just on fire right now. On fire. I think, going forward to next week, you're going to see a lot of the same. And it's going to be a situation of if Tomac gets a start, no one's going to touch him. Dunge, I don't know. Everybody talks about, what's wrong with Dungey right now? I don't know. There's definitely something that's not the Dungey we've seen the last 2 years, but I mean, how many privateers would kill to have a season half as bad as his right now? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Baggett can start stringing some stuff together too. Like I said, I don't think his consistency is going to be there yet. I think it's going to take him a couple years to develop the consistency, but he could definitely get in there. I mean, you get a night where he's on, Coop comes back and he's on, and Marv's on, and next thing you know, you have, Eli wins, Marv, Coop, Baggett, Dunge is 5th. All of a sudden, this championship is really, really close. So yeah, this is definitely probably the most interesting year I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years here, as far as parity in the class. So I'm really interested to see how it goes going forward, because we've definitely got a lot of guys with potential to win on any given night. So I don't know, we'll see. All right, let's move forward to let's start talking about our fantasy here. And my fantasy last week blew up. It sucked. I scored a whopping total of 15 points. I really was bad at this and have been bad at this here. So you probably don't want to listen to me anyway, but I'll tell you what my picks are going to be. Now, as far as top 5 goes, again, I don't think you count out Eli Tomac in first. You put, at this point, you still almost have to put Dungey in the top 3. But then it's, who else do you put on the box with them? Do you put Marv? Do you put Anderson? Do you put Seeley? Is Webb going to be back? Do you put him on there? Is Baggett going to have another weekend? I mean, realistically, you have 10 guys to fill the top 5 spots. You might as well put them in a hat and pick them out. So, I think as far as I go for next week, I have to watch practice. I always watch the practice and qualifying to see who does what. But I think you go Eli for the win, for sure. I think you go Dunge in second, because I think he's going to continue to roll here. I think you go Marv will probably bounce back, so I'm going to put Marv in a solid 3rd. I think you put Baggett in 4th, because I think he's going to carry some momentum going forward here. And I think at a 5th you put Jason Anderson, because he's just such a bulldog, and he has crap starts, but he keeps moving his way to the front. So you go Tomac, Dunge, Marv, Baggett, Anderson for my top 5. And then 6th place is the wild card for next week. So in a 6th place, you put someone like Seeley. You know, again, the kid's killing it. Now, those are probably all completely wrong. So, you know, I'll just say that, but well, I don't think they're going to be right, other than possibly the winner. So that's what I got for picks. That's the show for this week. Again, flying solo here because I'm in Florida, not in Michigan with Justin. So if you like it, like, subscribe, share this stuff up. You know, we're trying to get more views. I'd love to bring you guys more actual video from the races. However, we're not quite at the view count I need to be at to make that happen. So share it up so we can get to the races and get you guys some more in-depth stuff. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.